So welcome everybody. Welcome to our Counselors Update. We're going to go ahead and get started here with our updates. We have some new programs, some program name changes that we're going to go over today. Some of the main ones here being we've brought back our marketing major within the business department. We've also introduced Barber within health and wellness. Power engineering technician, formerly known as Hoot, and power and process engineering, formerly known as HOPE. General environmental sciences, land stewardship and conservation, community support worker, child and youth care counselor, early childhood education, all new names for existing programs. We've got some important dates. Applications for fall 2023 open on October 1st, and our virtual counselors update being today, and our open house coming up here on October 21 and 22. College Day, our first college day will be November 16th. And tour week number 1 is going to run from November 28th until December 2nd. Within our enrollment and recruitment department, we have recruitment advisors being Jamie Springer and Kim Hinton. Our enrollment specialists on the Vermilion campus, we have Danielle White, and Danielle's joining us today as well. She is with agricultural, environmental, fire and emergency, and human services. On the Lloydminster campus, we have myself, I am Jessica Amendrud, with energy, business, health and wellness, and human services online. And we also have our supervisor, Courtney King, with university transfer and trades. So if you ever have any questions or you want to contact recruitment, you can contact us at hello@lakelandcollege.ca. Also, just a little bit more information about our open house running from October 21 and 22. That is an opportunity for your students to apply for free. So they can come and check out our campus, both campuses. They can participate in activities, get free items from the college, and just get more information about programs they might be interested in. So if they're wanting to RSVP to that, they can reach out to us. They're able to do that through our website as well, and they're just welcome to join us so that they can apply for free and get more information. All right, so we're going to get started. I'm going to turn it over to Rochelle with interior design. She's going to be our first presenter for today, and she's just going to go in depth a little more about the programs that they have and any changes that are happening in their department.
Good morning. So we have our 2-year diploma program. We don't have any name changes or sort of course updates aside from merging 2 history courses into 1. So kind of to reduce the course load for first-year students in the first semester to kind of ease them into the college experience. Our marks, entrance marks have stayed the same, and we are a program that accepts on first qualified, first accepted, so we can fill before the term starts. So we will be advertising for students to start applying for October 1st, and then we can go from there. Do I click to the next slide, or Amanda, or are you clicking to the next slide? Thank you. For applied skills, developing detailed plans, elevations, and sections, space planning for residential, retail, and hospitality, which would include like hotels and restaurants, selecting and specifying finishes, furniture, and materials, manually and digitally draft construction documents, and we teach them from the ground up AutoCAD, Revit, Photoshop, and SketchUp, some of the other Adobe products as well. We do still emphasize hand sketching and rendering, but the students do not have to have an artistic background or know how to draw coming into the program. That's a learned skill. And professional networking is another aspect. We have 2 field trips, major field trips this fall. We are taking first-year students to Calgary for an overnight field trip, and we'll be visiting 4 showrooms possibly 5. And then in January, we're very excited. Our students can, second-year students will be going to Toronto for Design Week, which is a major field trip they're fundraising for right now. And then also our students have an 8-week practicum, which is a required course at the end of the program, and so more opportunities for professional networking there. For awards, we have 12 program-specific awards, and then we're very excited to announce that we have won over $105,000 in awards and scholarships through student competition alone. We had one of our students who graduated in the spring, who was announced this summer as placing 2nd place overall in the NKBA student kitchen and bath competition in the kitchen category. So she won some of that money and will be flown to Vegas in January with a friend, and they will put her up at a hotel, and she will have her award presented to her at the Industry Awards Gala. I think we can go to the next slide. We have 2 agreements. We have a transfer agreement with Yorkville University, and we get 81 credits currently towards the 160. So it's pretty much a 2-for-2 transfer. We had one graduate from last year who started the program over the summer, and I think currently we have 9 students who are working through the program, and we've had 2 graduates so far with that agreement. And we have an advanced standing agreement also with Mount Royal, and they give about 1 year's worth of credits out of the 4, and we just had 2 students graduate from that program in the past year. We have 2 professional association relationships, the NKBA, the National Kitchen and Bath Association, which we've had a membership since 2020, or sorry, since 2000, so over 20 years. So now we have founding member status, and our students are sponsored with their membership, and so they join a professional association once they become a student here. And then the Decorator and Designers Association of Canada, or the DDA, we've been now a recognized program by them for the past 3 years. Both of them have student memberships and member-only scholarship opportunities, so design competitions through both of those associations. And they both offer webinar and educational sessions that specifically are for industry, and as members, we have access to share that with the students. And I think that's all we had for slides. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Just a quick reminder to everyone to just make sure that your cameras are off because we're going to be recording. With fire and emergency services.
All right, that's me. I'm Amy Maringer. I haven't actually seen these slides, so I'm just going to kind of muddle my way through this. So beyond the classroom, experience operation of a fire hall from day 1, develop essential leadership skills on the front lines while taking shifts as battalion chief, become a community member by supporting organizations and nonprofits with a fundraising calendar initiative, as well as volunteerism. So we have our opportunity to take your education to the front lines. The certificate on-site or blended. It's a fire training program. With that, you get your basic 1001, NFPA 1001, level 1, level 2, as well as some DG courses and some basic NFPA 1002 pump courses. With the on-site, they come here for 12 weeks straight and take all their theory in class, as well as go out in the field and take their skills to the field. With the blended, they do all of their training, the theory at home online, and then they come here and do their skills in the field. Then we have our accelerated diploma program with the ESTs. There's 2 streams, med and fire. With the fire stream, they get everything that the fire training program 12-week program gets, plus a few extras like safety codes, wildland, rope rescue, confined space. And with the medical stream, they get the 12-week training program as well as their primary care paramedic. Both of those, they get a practicum with it. And then we have our degree, which is the Bachelor's of Applied Business Emergency Services. I'm not involved in that, so I can't really speak to that one too much. Next slide.
Thanks, Amy. If there's any other updates that you have from the department, you can feel free to provide them here, or you can put them in the chat. And these are the slides that we have for.
Oh, that we have. Okay, sorry, I didn't see this before.
No, that's okay.
The only updates I could really give is it's not really program related, but we do have our new dean, Sean McCary, as well as within the medical stream. Nate used to provide that for us, but we've switched to a new contract with the Western Institute of Emergency Education. They're local here in Vermilion, and they will be delivering that program next year for us.
Awesome. Thanks so much. University transfer.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Kelsey Baddock. I'm the academic advisor for the University Transfer Program. I'm just quickly going to go through the route links, or essentially just kind of go through what we do offer. So arts, education, science, including a lot of pre-professional programs we have agreements with. So U of A is one of our bigger ones. And I do have a cheat sheet that hopefully recruitment enrollment will be passing on. Next slide is MacEwan and the University of Calgary. So again, you see we really only used to have vet med and social work, but thanks to the work that we did with community-based education, which I'll talk about in a second, we're actually able to expand out to art, science, and education. Next slide. And then USask is another big university that we transfer to for everything, essentially the same as what we do for U of A. And then for U of R, we really just do social work, but I have had students go there for arts, education, science as well. It's just a little bit further away, so it's just not as common. Next slide. So this is essentially the new and exciting parts about university transfer. So Casper is becoming more and more known, where students are having to take a situational judgment test that's computer-based for a lot of different routes before they get to transfer to the university. So U of A education, U of A dental hygiene, U of A and USask dentistry, USask nursing and nutrition, USask pharmacy, and then for U of C vet med students, only those that are shortlisted will have to take it. So I think as the years pass, I think more and more institutions will start to do the same, or start to expand and have this as part of their requirements. So again, it's just a situational judgment test. It involves a series of video or text-based scenarios and asks the test takers what they would do and why they would do it. So it's looking at communication, collaboration, equity, professionalism, problem solving, empathy, motivation, and ethics. Students really can't study for it, so it is really just something that they have to do, and then GPA is still a factor in everything as well. So for USask nursing, our new location is actually here in Lloydminster. So it used to be Regina, Saskatoon, Prince Albert, Yorkton, as well as a couple of locations in northern Saskatchewan. And now we are also a location. So students can still do their first year of USask nursing pre-professional year with us, and then they can actually stay and complete years 2, 3, and 4 on the Lloydminster campus or here in Lloydminster. It is the same as all the other USAS programs. You are not guaranteed to be here in Lloydminster. It will still be GPA based. The Aboriginal Teacher Education Program, we had our first cohort graduate here in the spring. So there were 32 graduates, which we excitingly had 21 of them cross our stage here in Lloyd. We have our second cohort starting here in Lloydminster, which is 26 students, 15 of which came from Lakeland College, so they were in our 2-year program. And we'll should be having another cohort starting in 2024. So that's where students start years 3 and 4 of a Bachelor of Elementary Education with the University of Alberta. We have a couple of new courses, which we always have 1 to 2 new courses every year. So History 251 is a continuation from last year. This one is United States history from Civil War to the present, and it will flip with the History 250, which is earlier American history every year. QLSS is a learner lab for new students. We are going to have them doing technology, time management, study skills, and memory. So it's 4 weeks for the month of September, and it's required for all first-year students. And we're just hoping that that helps bridge the gap between high school and their first year of university or college. Just a reminder that we also have collaborations with Athabasca University. So that is arts and science programs. So students can complete a 3 or 4-year arts degree or a 4-year science degree or the 3-year Bachelor of General Studies, all through us slash Athabasca. So I work with the students to ensure that they're taking classes that transfer from us to them and getting them into the correct AU courses as well. And then the U of C community-based education, which is in our 2nd year. So students can complete Bachelor of Education with the University of Calgary. It is mainly on or half and half online. So you do your classes with us in person, but then the classes that you take with the University of Calgary are online, besides the 2-week kind of in-person session that they do in July in Calgary. So that's a really neat kind of collaboration that we're doing with U of C. So clubs with USAS Nursing, the University of Alberta for Education, the University of Calgary for Education, and Athabasca University for Arts and Science. If anyone has any questions, you can definitely put them in the chat and I will do my best to answer them. But that's essentially it for university transfer.
Thanks, Kelsey. Okay, so next, providing the update for both wellness and human services. Thank you so much, Deb.
Good morning. I'm Deb Manish from Health and Wellness. I'm the chair of Health and Wellness. I'm going to be speaking on Health and Wellness and Human Services. Human Services is not my thing because it's on the Vermilion campus with my dean, but I'm going to do my best to help you that. But we'll start with the next slide. So we have our hairstyling program, which is here on campus. It is a 10-month program. 1,400 hours, which is AIT governed. So that's what the students have to complete. They do their practicum right here on site. They have a fully functioning salon. They work with real clients, use professional products. We have a lot of guest artists. They complete their 10-month program and then they file with AIT and then they start their apprenticeship from there. Something new that we added this year, hairstyling changed their curriculum. So now we have received our certificate for barbering. So the barbers will come in and they have started this year. We actually have 4. We thought it would be a good way to get our seats filled. So the barbers come in and they will be with the hairstylist, pretty much teaching and learning the same exact thing, because the hairstylists also have to have barbering. They'll have a few different things that they have to take for in terms of public clinic. So they will move through the program with the rest of the class, but they'll be finished at Christmas. This works really well for our students because they can finish as a barber at Christmas. So if we do have students that are maybe falling behind or financially have problems at Christmas, which we have run into in the past, we can send them on their way with something, without, you know, nothing. And they don't have a hairstyling, they don't have anything. They can have a barber certificate and at least get to work. Or the other way will apply. We had 4 barbers start, and one of them has already switched over and wants to do the full hairstyling class. So it's a win-win for everyone, and it's really exciting. And I'm excited to say, after 5 years of doing this program and starting it from the ground up, it's the first year it's actually very full to capacity. So that's exciting news. So our esthetician class is the same, runs in the same model. We have a spa here, 600 hours. So it's a little less time spent on campus. They do a public clinic. They learn all the same sort of things. We have a on-site professional spa here that they run and students help run. New this last year, we ran it for the first year. Because of COVID, we couldn't run it. We have clinical esthetician, which is kind of the way the world is going. So in there, they're going to learn a lot more in-depth stuff. We have a laser machine that we were lucky enough to be able to purchase, and working with a doctor at BC. So they're doing a lot of kind of medical clinical stuff. So they'll have to finish their 30 weeks of esthetician as a prerequisite to get into clinical, and then they'll start right into clinical, and it'll be 37 weeks. So a really hands-on approach, because they've already done their theory, but they will finish their clinical in 37 weeks. And last year, I think, or for our first year, we had 12. So that was pretty good for our first year, and it really worked out well. So, and most of them have been out there getting employed. And this really is a way of the future, honestly. Like, most people are doing the clinical thing. Oh, I just wanted to point out another thing for esthetician before we move on. This year, just particular, we did enroll in skills at the provincial level, 3 students, and we got first, second, and third. And we went to Vancouver with the first place student and competed in pre-worlds, and our student placed third. So that was pretty exciting. So for healthcare aid, our curriculum for healthcare aid has changed quite a bit. It's really, really governed by Alberta Health Services now. So we have no freedom at all about how it is delivered. It's delivered the same all across Alberta, and we're audited. It seems like every 5 days, but I'm sure it's not. We are offering a Lloydminster cohort and a Wainwright cohort, and we're still doing it on the weekends. It's about every second or third weekend. And along with that, they have online assisted learning, and they have to do a 320-hour practicum. It's split up into 3 different practicums. We are really hoping that the numbers are going to be in our favor next year, and we're going to offer a blended model we're going to offer a full-time studies model in the Lloydminster campus next year, on top of the other blended model. On top of, we've had lots of people reaching out wanting to do a collaboration with us. So that's new for us. It is a lot more work than it has been in the past. The one thing that has really changed that we have found, besides the whole model of our delivery of the program, is that now when the students are done, we don't just give them a certificate. They have to do a government exam, and they have 3 chances to pass. And then if they pass, then they can get a certificate. But it is really heavily brought down by Alberta Health Services now. Okay, so this is the programs for human services, which again is not my specialty, but I'm going to, all the other instructors were in class, and so I'm going to do this for you today. So there's a certificate program for American Sign Language and Deaf Culture Studies, which is online, an early childhood education online and on campus, an education assistant online and also on campus. There's a diploma for child and youth care counselor online and on campus, an early childhood education online and on campus. And then there's a post-credential certificate. So if they've completed some of those other things, then they can go on and do an animal assisted wellness online and a community mental health online. New in 2023, the new community support practitioner program provides training for those interested in pursuing a career in helping a profession that targets care of individuals requiring support within the community. The program provides a foundation in human services with specialization courses focused on supporting individuals with diverse abilities, those who are experiencing health challenges, older adult care, as well as mental health and family support. So kind of like not a healthcare aid, but in that in-between stage, if they just require, they don't want to live at, or they still want to stay in their home, but they need extra help to stay at home. Okay, so the Human Services Club, Lakeland students are creating a usable, this is new, natural play space for children in the North Country or courtyard of the Bentley building on the Vermilion campus. This space will be used by the child development children for use during the play program, a destination for site visits to the college from young children in the community and surrounding areas who are a family day home, early learning, preschool, and kindergarten settings. From what I understand, the on-site daycare in Vermilion will also be utilizing this and using it. Students are asked to research natural playscapes and loose parts that are durable for weather in our climate. The club will collect donations from individuals and businesses in the community for materials. So we're building a playscape structure here. Students will share updates on the progress of the playscapes on Instagram. Yeah, so that is actually what's new here. Kind of what I can gather from that is trying to bring children back to the natural habitat instead of technology, and getting back to the basics. So student-led learning, early child education has play program, child and youth care counselor is peer coaching. New in 2023, we have youth camps, and education assistant partner with local schools to provide classroom support. The play program, students in the ECE or early childhood education program design a child care program from the ground up, organizing the play space, meals, handbooks, budget, marketing plan, policies, and procedures. After the spaces are decorated and filled with developmentally appropriate equipment, they invite up to 41 children from the community to participate, learning the day-to-day operations of a child care program firsthand. So the peer coaching is a second year students in the child youth. Students work with the college's wellness advisor to provide supports to peers. They promote, plan, and participate in wellness activities, events, and programs on campus, educate Lakeland community students about wellness topics and services, help to do presentations and talk to classes about counseling and wellness and to the commons. Youth camps are in development and plan to be offered in Vermilion next year. CYC students, child youth students will develop all aspects of the camp similar to how early childhood education students design and develop the play program from young children. So that's the information from Human Services. I'm sorry if I didn't deliver it as well as someone from that campus could, but if you have any questions that you want specifically answered, you can reach out to recruiting or to my dean, Janice Aki, at this information here. And thank you for your time.
So next we're going to have Chris Thompson, the chair with Trades and Technology. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Jessica. Morning, everyone. So lots of exciting news in apprenticeship and trades training. Something that's really cool that apprenticeship is doing now is that you can sign up to be an apprentice without actually being indentured or having a job. So that's really cool and should help us fill some first-year places and get some more people out in trades. What that allows the person to do is to sign up online on Trade Secrets and then be able to sign up for technical training and then hopefully achieve employment after their technical training. We do all of our trades compete in the skills competitions, and we had great success with our carpentry competitor last year. He won first in the provincials and second at the national level. So that was great. As you can see, our parts is now strictly online and it is booming. We are oversubscribed for all 3 years of parts with a quota of 24 students in each year of parts, and they're from all over the province. So our parts online program is excellent. We can jump to the next slide, Jessica, please. This is our heavy equipment shop. So you can see we have a large fleet of on-highway vehicles and an excellent complement of also off-road vehicles. Our automotive shop is now equipped with the state-of-the-art wheel alignment hoists. We have a full chassis dyno, and we also are the only institute in Alberta that has a full engine machine shop. Our carpentry shop, as you can see, if you do any woodworking, there's not a whole lot of dust in there because we do have a state-of-the-art dust collection system there and the latest in woodworking tools. Our electrical department, well-equipped labs from motor labs to simulated house wiring installations. Our welding shop, every booth, as you can see, is equipped with dual wire feeders, stick welder, and also oxy fuel torches. We deliver driver training out of the Lloydminster Street Rod Technology previous program there, which deals with the MELT program. And our interior design program, which you've heard from today, we just like to throw another bit of advertising for them. And they are big players in the NKBA competition with our student place in second last year. Employment programs. Our automotive service technician was a new program with us, reopening that this year. And we had 24 seats available and we had 54 applications for that. So students need to get to apply for that early. Welding is full at 24 and electrician is also full at 24. So the pre-employments are running very well. And we've probably got a 90% employment rate through the practicum when we send those students out into the field. And again, our truck driver training is the MELT program, also class 3, and then air brake endorsement is also involved with truck driver training. Large complement of continuing education. B pressure is a big thing now. Welding is picking up out in the field, along with CWB, introductory to MIG and ARC. We do Red Seal prep. So if you have not been successful with your Red Seal exam, we do preparation courses for all different trades here. Our CTS is booming, from automotive to carpentry to welding. We do a huge amount of students through the CTS on the high schools. Master electrician is running, and we do weekend vehicle restoration workshops out of the Street Rod Technology shop in Lloydminster. And we're also doing introduction to different trades. We've done automotive and welding, where you can come in for 3 weeks and just try the trade out, get a little bit of information and see if it's what you're interested in. And here's all the important links as far as trades go, from trade secrets to skills to Lakeland College. And any questions? And by all means, if you have students that are interested in any kind of trade, just get a hold of us and we can do a student for a day or have a shop tour. Open to any of those ideas from you guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. Yeah, and if any of your students would ever like a tour as well, they are able to book with us directly on our website via Calendly. So we would be happy to book them in on a tour, whether here on the Lloydminster campus or in Vermilion. So we're going to jump into energy now, our energy department. We've got some program name changes there. So Amanda Bohe-Graf, our academic advisor, she is going to touch on some of the dates within the energy department. Thanks, Amanda.
Good morning. My name is Amanda and I am the academic advisor in the energy department. So yeah, just some updates that you're going to see. We have changed a couple names. So what was formerly known as our Aht program, which was the one-year certificate, is now known as Power Engineering Technician, so PET. Our two-year diploma, which was formerly known as HOPE, is now Process and Power Engineering. And we also have our sustainable energy technology. Next slide. So again, our one of our claims to fame are our energy labs. Our state-of-the-art Synovus Energy Lab is one of a kind in Canada. It provides heat and power for the Lloydminster campus as a heavy oil power engineering student, or what we now know as PPE. Students from industry-supported practicums where students network with employees and may even secure employment upon graduation. Next slide. So again, our power engineering technician, the PET, formerly Aht. So in less than a year, students will be qualified to become a 4th class power engineer and work anywhere there is a steam power plant. That one of the reasons we have shifted our name is to incorporate the diverse employment opportunities that our students have, not just in the oil field. So power engineers supervise, operate and maintain machinery and boilers. These machines provide steam, power, heat, refrigeration, and other utility services to industrial and commercial facilities. So our courses include topics such as electricity, thermodynamics, steam generation, and water treatment. And again, first years will train in the Husky Power Engineering Lab, which is on campus. Our one-year certificate still includes a 6-week practicum placement in the industry. And students, in addition to writing Lakeland college exams, will be prepared and will be writing 2 provincial exams through ABSA. Admission requirements are status quo, 50% in English 30 or 30-2, minimum of 50% in math 30-1 or 65% in 30-2, and a minimum of 50% in sciences. Next slide. So the 2-year diploma, Process and Power Engineering, formerly known as HOPE. In less than 2 years, students will become a qualified 3rd class power engineer, and again, work anywhere in the industry where there's steam power plants. The first year, students of the 2-year diploma, students will earn a 4th class certification. In the second year, the students will start skills training in the state-of-the-art energy center, which is known as our Synovus Lab. This diploma program also includes a 3-month practicum placement in the industry. And just a special note that this spring, when our students went out, so they went out to the beginning of May to the end of August, all of them received paid practicums with their hosts. In addition to the practicums, students will write 6 provincial exams through ABSA, as well as their Lakeland college exams. The biggest difference with the admission requirements for the 2-year diploma is that 50% in physics 20, chemistry 20, or 65% in science 20 is required. Physics 20 is preferred. And these programs are well suited to any student with an interest or aptitude for physics. And next one. So what are we? Are we a trade vocation profession? We're kind of all of them. Students will receive a red seal qualification. We do have a lot of questions that come if I get my ABSA certificate, can I work in a different province? Absolutely. That's what the red seal qualification will allow you to do, is become qualified in different provinces. We have students that go on practicum in Saskatchewan and they go in practicum in Alberta. We work closely with TSASC, which is the ABSA equivalent in Saskatchewan. And it's usually not a problem, just as long as students are completing the correct forms. There's 5 operating classes. A lot of people don't know that there is a 5th class power engineering certificate. It's not usually taken or recognized. We don't offer that. And just so you know, the the classes progress in the opposite directions. So students will start with 4th class, they'll move to 3rd class, 2nd class, and then 1st class. And for all of those programs, STEAM time accreditation is required. Just an interesting note as well, that 4th class is the only class that students actually have to attend a institution. They cannot just challenge that exam. Next. So where can students work? Obviously, they can work in the oil field, they can work in food processing plants, ethanol production, refineries and upgraders, chemical production, power generation, grain and food, oil production, hospitals, airports, event centers, sporting arenas, mining, universities, and colleges, pulp and paper mills. So anywhere that the building is powered by steam. On average, our power engineers earn a base salary approximately $94,000 a year, and that as well does not include overtime, retention, production, and benefits. And I already mentioned that this spring, because of industry demand right now, 100% of our students have received paid practicums. And just for a note of our students going in that will be starting their practicum, our first year students that will be starting practicum in December, we have already got companies that are kind of banging on our door wanting our students. So lots of job opportunities, lots of job prospects, lots of opportunities to get experience in the industry and network and make connections. And that's it. So if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. And again, we are always open for tours and would love to speak to any counselors directly. So please don't hesitate to contact us.
Awesome. Thanks, Amanda. Great. So next we are going to have Daniel Whitecomb. He is one of our enrollment specialists on the Vermilion campus. Thanks, Danielle.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you great.
Awesome, thank you. So I'm filling in for Enviro because they are all very busily out in their labs, which is part of what I love about this program. We have a few changes that some of you may or may not be aware of. So the one-year certificate is relatively new with the Applied Environmental Sciences. Basically, with our environmental sciences, even in the diploma program, the first year is a common year. So if you have a student who's maybe not entirely sure about what major they need to go into, they're not sure what's going to pique their interest or what career they want to do at the end, I love this aspect because either A, they can graduate at the end of that year with an Applied Environmental Sciences certificate, or they can continue into a diploma program or change maybe their major that they've chosen when they first entered, because they get to know our instructors, they get some time in the labs, they get to find out maybe what really piques their interest once they're actually in doing the lab work and whatnot. Now, with the two-year diploma programs, we have had some name changes as well. So our Applied Environmental Sciences, it's kind of our general information and conservation and restoration ecology has actually changed over into our, make sure I get this right, land stewardship and conservation major. And so there is a few changes with that. It's when urban centers are expanding, they're looking at that ecosystem and that how that functions. So you learn about your land, your water, your grasslands, your marshes, and all of that kind of stuff as well. And then we have our wildlife and fisheries is still the same, and our conservation and reclamation major, which of course is all about the soils. We do have a couple new ones coming in as well. Again, that first year's common. So the only thing that changes in that second year would be adding a couple more courses from our sustainable energy program. And that program is going to be renewable resources and reclamation. They're still very much in the works, and there's another new one that I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about yet, so just keep your eyes open for another major in environmental sciences. Students can do two majors, so they can do what's a double dip we call around here, and so they can take basically a third year in a major and get that second heading, essentially, open up some job options, or they can stick around and do our Bachelor of Applied Sciences, which with an applied degree, they are working in that fourth year for 8 months. That's their big capstone project that they present at the end of the year and get to kind of go actually work in the field, apply their knowledge, and see what they like and get some employment opportunities and get their name out there in industry. Next slide. With the sciences being such prominent, obviously, in environmental, we do require the biology 20 and chemistry 20. It does say in there that it is recommended for them to have their bio and chem 30 levels. And basically, I do think that does help the student continue on into their college atmosphere. But if they just have that grade 11 level, tell them not to worry, they can still apply and whatnot, which if you have that student that's they're hands-on, they want to learn, they've been outside this whole last couple of weeks for their labs doing grass identification before the snow flies and all that kind of fun stuff. So I highly recommend that one. Any questions for me as far as environmental sciences go? Okay.
Thank you, Danielle. All right, so McMillan, the academic advisor with Ag Sciences, Agricultural Sciences, he's going to come and bring the update for that department. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me, folks?
We can hear you great. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm just really going to focus in on the new things with the Ag department. If you need some more information on everything that we have to offer, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself directly, or you can contact Danny, who also has a lot of experience with our Ag department. Some of the biggest changes that we have in our diploma programs is we've restructured the Ag business program. We used to have only 3 majors, which were livestock, marketing, and crop tech. But now we have 5 majors to choose from in finance, marketing, production, sustainability, or ag tourism. The format's changed a little bit. Incoming students into ag biz will now have a similar first semester. They will all take the same 5 courses and then start branching out into their major in the second semester after having been introduced to potential careers in those 5 majors in their first semester. Ag sustainability is not a new program, but it's really starting to get its legs this year. We have our first cohort that'll start and graduate in 2 years' time. It's a combination of our ag program and environmental courses. It's a growing area in industry. Consumers are more often demanding to know where their food comes from, how it's produced, is it ethically produced, is it sustainably produced, and so students entering into there. We'll be looking at that kind of career, and it's a mix of both courses. And the last, I guess, the biggest change is the animal health technology. We've received some funding from the Alberta provincial government that will allow us to grow the number of seats that we have in our blended program. AHT is an incredibly underserved industry in Alberta and in Saskatchewan, for that matter. They're very short of RVTs. We have 72 seats in our on-campus program. Usually we have a waiting list of anywhere between 40 and 60 people. It's highly competitive to get into. Our blended program currently sits at 24, but that will be growing. So for your students, if they're looking at that program, perhaps that would be an avenue for them to dip their toe into the water. Can I get the next slide, please? This is very exciting. What's new for us is we've opened a brand new building on campus for it's our ag building, but it's also serving our Enviro students as the WHT Mead Center. Our grand opening is actually this Wednesday. A beautiful facility. We have classrooms, lecture theaters up to 150 students. We no longer have to use the Alumni Theater as a classroom. The Alumni Theater is fantastic as a performance theater. It was not the most conducive for instruction. So we're very, very excited to have this building. There's some labs in here. There's lots of gathering spaces for students to gather and work. And for the first time on campus, all of our faculty and techs have office space in one facility as opposed to being spread out all through campus. Next, please. Livestock is the first year offering our SMF Bison program. We started introducing Bison content into courses last year. but for the first time that we have a Bison team that are looking at extensive grazing. So if you have students in your building that are interested in the Bison program, they would apply for the ASD livestock, and then they would choose that stream, take Bison production courses, and then get the hands-on experience in the Bison SMF program. A reminder, if your students are looking at are coming from a sheep background, we no longer have a sheep flock. We still have access to sheep. We still have a sheep club on campus, but we no longer have a sheep SMF team. Next, please. So this is the new blended AHD. It's a new 2-year diploma. The admission requirements are the same as the face-to-face program. Delivery is different, sure, but what has been happening is that instructors release material at the beginning of the week, Sunday late or Monday early. Students work at their own pace through the week. There is one live session where students have the option to tune in and ask questions and get clarification on items. Those sessions are not mandatory to attend. I really want to emphasize, though, that this is a full-time program. You have students that are working full-time and trying to balance this. Many of them are finding that balance very, very difficult. It is a challenging academic program. And in terms of labs, the expectation is that students will come to campus. For the first year, it's twice. They come in December for 7 days, and then they come in July the following summer for 8 to 10 days, depending on how long they think they need the structure to go. But we will be seeing the numbers in this program growing. So this may be a way for students that have been stuck on a waiting list or unable to get in to a program because of the competitive nature and the limited spaces across the province. This may be something that could be accessible to them. Next, please. New is Ag Sustainability, as mentioned, 2-year diploma. The students are enrolled in courses from the Schools of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. I would recommend students going into this stream have a good grasp of, I would strongly recommend Bio 30, even if it's not the prerequisite. It will set them up for greater success in the program. The first year environmental courses, you're taking botany, you're taking the enviro courses. So if your students are interested in this, please make sure that they're taking the proper high school courses to give them the success in the program. Next, please. Bachelor Agriculture Technology, we're going to have our first guaranteed or graduating course this year. This is not a direct entry from high school, but if you have students who may not have what would normally be a traditional entry route into university, English 30-1 in Alberta, and your 4 other 30-level subjects, this may be a potential avenue for your more traditional -2 student to work their way to a degree if they're capable. A number of our students in the degree program may not have had the direct entry requirements to get into the University of Alberta or the University of Saskatchewan, but they will be getting a degree of an acceptable. Industries are excited about this degree. The 4th year of this degree is actually a practicum where you're working off campus in industry. We had more practicum offers than we had students to fill this year, which is very exciting. What's very cool too, I'm going to share a little story here. We had 2 students that are part of that are doing research on the Lakeland College campus on the new Bison herd. They went to the International Bison Conference where they competed in a poster contest. They were the only 2 undergrads that were competing. Every other student was either a PhD student or a master's student coming from the University of Calgary, the University of Saskatchewan, University of Kansas, Texas A&M, and the Lakeland College of students finished 1st and 3rd. It was very, very exciting to see our kind of success. And our students have been approached by a couple of institutions encouraging them to come and look at potentially pursuing their master's. So while it's a young degree, it's certainly one that's gaining traction in the academic world and in industry. So if you have a student that's looking for something that's research or working on the tech side of ag, certainly. Next, please. So what do I tell my students? Probably I was a high school counselor for the last 10 years of my teaching career. And the biggest challenge I faced was local students not wanting to come to Lakeland because it's in Vermilion. They wanted to get on the road. I would encourage them to come to some time on campus. It really is a fantastic school. The ag, I can only speak for ag, our instructors work incredibly hard to help students find success. At the end of the day, the students are responsible much more on an independent level than they would be in high school. But if people are putting the work in and are committed to finding success in the program, they will find supports both in the classroom and in our support systems on campus. The other thing is, if you've got students that are not from a farm background, that's okay. We'll get them to places where they need to be. We have a massive labor shortage in the ag world. If in order to start filling those spaces, we need to start drawing students into the industry and for careers that may not have a traditional farm kid background. And when you think ag, a lot of times when you ask a student, the first answer you get is all farm. And there are a bazillion different types of careers, whether it's in business or it's in tech or research, that can create a long and fulfilling career that oftentimes is recession proof. I mean, at the end of the day, we all need to eat, and ag is the industry that delivers that. I would encourage people to apply early. They know the dates have been mentioned already. 21st and 22nd is open house. If you can visit the campus, that would be fantastic. I remember always telling my students as a high school counselor that sometimes you just get a feel when you walk onto the, and I always use my own daughter as an example. She wasn't sure where she wanted to go. She did a campus visit, and by the end of the day, she knew that's where she needed to be. And I would recommend that no matter what schools your students are looking for. I guess the biggest thing is if you're coming from a smaller rural school. I graduated from Vermilion here a million years ago, and when I moved to Edmonton, it was not a great transition for me. The culture shock was significant. So we're a great transition school. We have agreements with the U of S and the U of A and the U of L from almost all of our programs for extending your educations from diplomas to degrees. There's some great laddering. You can come in for a certificate, turn that into a diploma, and then turn that into a degree down the road. And I guess that's all Ag Sciences has to share. And if I would open up for questions, if you want to shoot me a question in the chat, that would be great. Other than that, I will pass it back to Jess.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alan. That was great. So now we are going to hand it over to our business department. We have Caitlin Clary, our academic advisor. Hi, Caitlin. She is going to bring the update from the business department.
Awesome. So hope everybody can hear me okay. I'm Caitlin Clary, the Business Academic Advisor. There's not too much that's new in the business department, so I will just give a general overview of kind of all the program options that we have, and then speak to basically more of what we're doing as like a hands-on approach in the classroom. So we do have, various different options that students can choose from into either doing a one-year certificate. So if you just want, to dip their toes into business and kind of get a certificate and get out quickly into the workforce, we have some one-year certificates. We do have one at a lower level, so lower entry level. Our administrative professional program is mainly, used for some office admin, basically in the front end line kind of jobs, and it does that at a lower level. So for those students who, again, just want to come in, they may not have the, the requirements to get into the business program. They can choose to go into the administrative professional one-year certificate and still have, a certificate to go right out to the workforce. We do have some courses from that administrative professional program that do get some transfer credit into our business diploma if they do choose to kind of branch out afterwards and come into our diploma program. We also have our accounting technician and our business certificate. So both of those 10 courses in total to make the certificate. Accounting technician, you got some payroll, some computerized accounting in there. But what's really cool about our business admin certificate is and I will talk about it in our next slide here as well, but basically we give students the flexibility and option of either coming in class, so a fully in-class certificate, but we also have an online certificate option as well. So for those who are just not wanting to come to campus at all and are maybe completing it at a distance, they can complete that certificate fully online as well. So that is new, and we're really, really excited about it. So I'll speak to more about that in a second here, but those are our certificate options. Moving into our two-year diploma majors. So basically all of these are what we've have offered for a while now, but new to our diploma major options. We brought back marketing this year, so we're super excited about giving students the option to branch out into a marketing as a major as well. We've continued to offer those marketing courses all throughout, even when we did suspend the marketing major way back when. We've been suspended for a couple of years now, but we did continue to offer all of our marketing courses as elective options, and they do remain pretty popular. So for anybody who are wanting to major specifically into the marketing world, we did bring that back as a major option. We have accounting, general business, so general, a series of electives that students get to choose from. So if students are really not sure what they want to go into for business, general is awesome because they're kind of driving their and creating their own diploma is what we usually say, is they get to choose a series of electives that suits their comfortability, and they can mix up all the different courses. They could take some accounting, some marketing, some small business, and just really suit it to what they're interested in as in entering into their career. Marketing, like I just mentioned, real estate appraisal and assessment. So this is our only major that students will take, 11 courses in their first year instead of 10. We do have a statistics requirement in their first year to enter into the second year of appraisal and assessment. But really cool program. It's very unique in its ways. Normally students coming into this major would do, they're all taking the same courses at the same time within their second year of that program. So they're acting as a little cohort, and very specialized in lots of guest speakers coming in and talking about the industry. A lot of students don't know about this major. We always ask students how they found out about the major, and it is likely that they've had a family member work in the industry or have recommended that they follow in their footsteps and apply into this major and into this workforce. So it's something that we're trying to get the word out about. It is an awesome major for students to go into. There's so many different things that they can branch out and do after graduation. So yeah, we're really trying to get the word out about our real estate appraisal and assessment major. And then, of course, our small business and entrepreneurship. So for any students interested in running their own business, they may have a business idea already, and they're learning how to actually implement that into a business plan and go through the steps and the motions of how to actually open their own business one day. It could be also for if someone wants to manage a small business, teaching them how to do presentation skills. And so, really the options are endless. They can switch their majors. A lot of students, may start or think that, we always use accounting as the best example of this. But, students may start out into a career path that they, set their mind to, and they may have something different by the time that they graduate. So it's awesome to be able to have that flexibility. All the first year of all of our majors are the same. So they're taking, entry-level courses to give them a well-rounded view of what business is like, all the different tidbits of information that they need to know about each of those categories. So they're taking those intro courses in their first year and then branching out in their second year, choosing to major into something specific upon graduation for those 2 years. Also, we have some degree options as well. So for anybody, wanting to further pursue their education into a degree, we have lots of different options for them to do that, either staying at the Lloydminster Lakeland campus to do a degree through Athabasca University, which is a blend of online learning and in-person learning for either a 3-year Bachelor of Managed degree or a 4-year Bachelor of Commerce degree, and obviously choosing to either stay in the general stream or major into something specific like finance or accounting in their degree as well. So for that, we always tell students, if you're wanting to stick around, lots of athletes choose to do this path so that they can still stay within, a smaller institution with smaller class sizes and still have that flexibility of being able to graduate with a diploma, get a credential, and then pursue a second credential, being able to have a degree credential as well after the 3 or 4 years. We do also, though, have, for any of those who are wanting to continue on to get a degree as an in-person, we have a transfer agreement with the U of S that they can continue and transfer there after so right into their 3rd year of study at the U of S. We have places like NAIT if they wanted to go, Edmonton way. So lots of different transfer agreements that we can work with students on to get a degree elsewhere. Yeah, so from the 1 year to the 2 year to the degree, lots of different options that students can continue on with. And many of the time, we love hearing about the stories that students started with the 1 year because they thought they just wanted to get it in and out and back into the workforce, but have ended up staying for the full degree because they can do so many different options and an endless amount of career opportunities that can come out of it. So move on to our next slide. What we're focusing on, so we've had these programs and not much is new within the options there, but what we're trying to work on now is giving students the flexibility to be able to have some hands-on experience. So lots of employers, upon graduation, we talk about these soft skills and the importance of for students to be able to have that experience when they're graduating with already having some real life experience in practicing their skills that they're learning in the classroom. So we have lots of events that take place over the semesters that students can get involved in. So the case competition team. We have our workshops on our speakers corner so that students get the ability to practice their public speaking skills, being able to stand up in a crowd of people and make a presentation, and working on pitches, draw pitches, and being able to have that comfortability when upon graduation. We have some tax clinics as well, where it gives students the real life practice to actually do real tax returns. So we've done that for a couple of years now. So anybody who's in their first year, their second year, get to graduate having those necessary skills needed, in the job industry. One of the really well-attended events that we have in Lloydminster is the Inspiring Women's Conference. So we actually have our admin professional students being able to MC that event and help with the breakout sessions, anything to helping plan the event, and it's quite a big conference, so they get that real life experience of planning and integrating their skills into the community as well, and making those partnerships and the networking opportunities that can come from that is quite amazing. And basically just be able to be workforce ready. And so the last 2 years it has not run, but we're really excited about bringing back the co-op program as well this year. So for our diploma students, the 2-year diploma students, in between their first year and their second year, they get to take part in an optional summer business co-op program. So what that is in the winter semester, they've opted to take a workshop on job readiness, so anything to do with preparing their resumes, looking at job search skills, professionalism in the workplace. We're teaching them all the skills, in addition to what they're already learning in their classroom, but more so focused on giving them, some mock interview practice and things like that to be able to do a summer co-op placement, and that's paid placement between the summer months between their first and second year. So that's an excellent thing to put on your resume. Awesome. For students to be able to trial run the major that they're in, to making sure, and again, I'm just going to use accounting as the example, if a student starts out in accounting and they're able to trial run that as in the industry within their first and second year, it can really harness, whether or not that's what the career that they're wanting to pursue still when going into their second year. If not, they can change their major when going into their second year and change it into something that maybe they're picking up on something else that they would like to as develop as a skill. So we're really just focusing on being able to make that connection and the career alignment and the connection with what you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis when you graduate from your program, how you can connect that back to the courses that you're learning throughout the programming. So awesome skills and experience that they can graduate with. Yeah. So next slide. So I touched a bit about this already, but new to what we're trying to develop is the ability for students to have more flexibility in taking online courses. So right now we have a fully online certificate, so 10 certificate level courses to their first year of business that students can take fully online. We've had a mix, so students fully online, we can have students taking part-time online. We could also have lots of students who've chosen to do a mix of in-class and online programming. So just to, whether they're working, whether they're an athlete, whether they're just wanting to, open up some time in their day and have flexibility with their timetable. It's been quite a hit for students to have that flexibility. And also being able to open up the door to students doing Blue Seal. So in the trades program, they can start taking some online program or courses within their program to go towards their Blue Seal is also something that we're trying to get out there, and having that ability to do so through Lakeland still is great. Also, and I'm just going to quickly switch to the next slide here. So with this, now that we have an online first year, we have all these students doing the online certificate. By next year, our goal is to have our diploma in only the general major fully online as well. So we're about halfway there. We have about 15 of our courses. We have this year we had 5 of our elective courses in their second year that students were able to take, and then by next year we'll have the additional 5. So hoping to have the fully online diploma by next year. So lots of information to come on that when we have that up and ready to go. But something that we're really pushing for, because it just gives students, again, more flexibility, whether they are elsewhere and aren't coming onto campus for any of those courses, or again, just giving the flexibility of students to be able to take some of these courses online and in class if they wish. So just working on that flexibility and the ability to still have a diploma out of that as a fully online student too. Sorry, next slide. So that's it. I know mostly what I wanted to get, not a lot of changes in the business program except for the, marketing major coming back, but just working on giving students the flexibility, for time management, and also just all of the capabilities of being able to practice what they're learning within their in their program to put to use upon graduation. So any questions, you can always reach out to me at any time. I'm always happy to chat. Yeah, hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks, Jess.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Caitlin. So that brings us to the end of the department updates that we had for you today. I'm going to open it up for questions here in the chat, or you can raise your hand and ask them as well. While we're waiting on any questions that might roll in, I'm just going to have some main touch points here. Just the open house that we have coming up on October 20th and 21st. 21st and 22nd. October 21st and 22nd is our open house. There are going to be free applications that day. So generally a $90 application fee. We waive the application fee on open house. And I just want to echo what Alan had said about having students on campus. It's really a great experience for them to actually be here, to get insight into the culture, the environment here at Lakeland College, and really raises their comfortability level with the campus as a whole, and for them to see the actual support that they receive as a student here at Lakeland College right from the onset. They can get an idea of the staff and the friendliness and the close-knit culture here. So we really encourage students to come on out to open house. There's also lots of activities that they can engage in and get all their questions answered. So I will open it up to any questions in the chat, and if there aren't any, we will wrap it up. Let's see. Yes, we will be. Okay, so we have a question here. If this was recorded, yes, we did have this recorded, and we will have that recording available via a YouTube link, and it will be sent out similarly to the other updates that we had sent. So you will receive it in your email. If you, for some reason, do not receive that, please reach out to myself or Courtney or Danielle. I will put my information in the chat here so that you have that, and you can reach out at any time for anything else that you might need. And I also thought I would mention some of the resources we have available to students that may not know what they'd like to do on the website. We do have you can create your own custom view book. So in addition to the new view books that we have available, students can go on our website and create a view book that's tailored to their interests and the studies that they are interested in. We also have Find Your Program Match. So it's a process that takes students through some questions, and they're able to determine what might be suitable for them based on their interests and their answers. So it's a really great tool for grade 12 students, grade 11 students who are unsure of the path that they're wanting to take. Did I correctly understand that your Bachelor of Agriculture could open doors for a master's? Is that something that Alan would be able to touch on if he's still in?
Absolutely, thanks. We do not have a formal agreement with any schools yet. We're continuing to work on that. But again, as I mentioned, we did have the University of Saskatchewan speak to those two students that I mentioned at the Bison conference, gave them a tour of the school. And then we also had a school in BC reach out to a handful of our students and look to potentially get students there. I know our students are certainly being encouraged. There's no guarantee at this point, but we are certainly pushing to get those agreements. And at the end of the day, the host institutions always have the ability. They get to decide who they choose and who they don't choose for their prerequisite requirements. All I can offer is the anecdotal evidence that I saw this summer of our students being approached by other institutions and having those discussions with them. Where that moves down the road, like, I have no clue, but we're certainly hopeful, and that's certainly an avenue that we're pursuing. Hope that answers your question. But at this point, no official agreements with any other hosting schools, but working towards it. The only program that we have online in the School of Agriculture is our AHT Blended Program. All lectures are done online with scheduled live sessions through Teams usually, but there are also on-campus requirements for them to do the labs. And as I mentioned, for first years, they do theirs in December and July. Our second years do their first groups this year, and I think they're going December, February, and July are the dates, if I can remember off the top of my head. But none of our other ag programs are online, no.
Thank you, Alan. All right, so I haven't seen any more questions pop up here in the chat. So we just want to thank you for coming out to our counselors update. We appreciate your attendance, and we are going to probably stop the recording here now, and then I will make sure that this link is available to you guys after. So again, I'll put my information in the chat, and if there's anything further that you'd like to ask, you can go ahead and contact us directly, and we'll make sure that we get that information to you. Thanks, everybody. Have an awesome day.